Being a new player in Outlands can be difficult. You might be asking how to start your character, maybe what skills to pick, and what route to go for your first character. Today, I wanted to give you a push in the right direction, just enough to get your first character started and get you killing some things in shelter or level 1 of a dungeon before you head out and start learning about the different player progression systems Outlands has to offer. We will explore 3 different templates that you can start with to get the ball rolling here on Outlands. So with that, guys, sit back, grab yourself a beer, and let's talk about it. First off, let's start with a warrior, the tried and true test of metal known as the warrior. Warriors suffer from a humble beginning, but don't let that deter you. A well-played Dexer can rival even the most powerful magic users. With the template Tactics at 100. Tactics is what gives us damage, so we want this to be 100. Macing at 100. Accuracy is our biggest enemy as a new player, so once again, we need this to be 100. Note that here we chose macing. It's regarded as the best for general farming. It smashes through our enemy's armor. And with that though, feel free to use any weapon skill of your choosing. I'll post a link to the different weapon skills in the comments section below and allow you to make that choice yourself though. Again, I'd recommend macing though. Either way, moving on to Focus at 100. This is a powerhouse of a skill. This increases accuracy as well as swing speed and swing speed cap. Focus is just such a powerful skill and it's super easy to train as well. As long as you're hitting something, it's going up. Next up is Chivalry at 100. Chivalry is such an amazing skill for Dexers, giving them the ability to mitigate damage with Dispel Evil. Super powerful starting out. It increases the damage with enemy of 1. You can heal them yourselves, others, or even resurrect another player with Noble Sacrifice. You also get increased swing speed when you use Divine Fury, which is personally what I use to keep on auto cast. That's how you do it right here. You just click this little gray button. And you also get a free rune book when you use Sacred Journey. Also, when you go through that yellow portal that it creates, you gain a damage boost as well. Next up is Anatomy at 80. Defensively, this gives us a damage reduction from bleeds and diseases, as well as helping to keep from our fingers slipping during bandage healing. As far as offensively, it increases our damage as well as chance for a weapon finisher in the future when we level up our codex. But we're not going to go too deep into those on this video. Next up is Parrying for 80. This allows us to parry both melee attacks and spells from creatures. Also, the higher our parry, the more armor we get from shields. One thing of note is the ability to taunt every 15 seconds. By typing bracket taunt, you can taunt the creature and gain even more armor rating for the next 15 seconds. Having parry plus 80 or more tactics gives us access to the parry codex. Healing at 80, the most basic form of healing, with bandages. So now with this template, we have 4 forms of healing. We've got heal potions, we've got 2 heals in Chivalry, Holy Light, Noble Sacrifice, and bandages to heal. Having this plus 80 anatomy allows us to use the Healer's Codex. Magic Resist at 60 or Arms Lore at 80. This one's kind of a toss-up. If you want to be more defensive, go with the Magic Resist. It'll give you some more defense for spellcaster monsters as well as PKs. It'll also increase your overall damage. The other option is Arms Lore at 80. Arms Lore will allow us to disarm, which will give us good damage increase as well as to help us to weapon special more often. So it's kind of a toss-up, defensive or offensive. If you choose to go offensive and go Arms Lore, then you'd want to lower focus to 80. As far as the starting skills, when you create your character, you'll be allowed to pick 100 starting skill points and 80 starting stat points. Let's start with the skills. 49 Parry. This will give us a shield, which we will need in order to raise parry. 1 Chivalry, this will give us a Chivalry book. The only other way to get one is to spend 5,000 gold and buy one from a Paladin NPC. As long as it's in our inventory, we gain Chivalry while hitting creatures. Then let's do 50 macing. We want to make sure we get a mace, so let's pick this or whatever weapon skill you choose. Another option would be healing. This will give you 75 bandages, which is nice, but you should get a random weapon at that point too, and hopefully it's the weapon skill you want. So if you're unsure, maybe just pick healing and roll the dice and that'll pick your weapon skill. As far as codex unlockables, again, like I said, I don't want to go too in detail with them on this video, but be on the lookout for a healing codex, a swords codex, and a parry codex. These can be bought from another player or crafted by a friend with 110 inscription using 25 arcane scrolls and 1 master crafting diagram. You can get those from monster drops or, once again, buying from another player. The next template is a necromancer. This is easy mode and will allow you to push into level 2 and 3 much sooner than you would any other template due to the ability to summon mummies. These powerhouses tank everything for you while you stand in the back dealing massive amounts of damage with spells. As far as the template goes, we'll start off with eval intelligence at 100. Eval is what gives us the damage with our spells, so we want this to be as high as possible. Next is herding at 100. With this template, we summon undead creatures to do our bidding. Herding will increase the damage that they do for us. Magery at 100. We need 100 magery in order to summon our creatures, so let's go with 100. Spirit Speak at 100. The higher the Spirit Speak, the higher the stats our summons have. So let's push this on up to 100. Meditation at 100. Meditation gives us a regain rate for our mana. We can't cast if we don't have mana. Next is Necromancy at 100. Necromancy is going to give us pets that do more damage. Corpse Skin that makes our damaging spells leave a disease on enemy creatures. Pain Spike, which is another ability that is S tier, which what we do there is really cool. We use the corpses of our enemies to trigger an area effect of damage to creatures nearby. Focus at 100. Here's that powerhouse of a PVM skill again. Not only does it increase our mana refund chance, but it also increases our mana refund cap. Furthermore, it increases our chance to cast a charged spell, which honestly is just a fancy name for a critical hit. At 100, all 3 of those are increased by 15%. As far as what skills to start with, for this template, we want skills that give us free cast to train our magery and necromancy up to 80. Choose these skills and head straight to shelter following the magery guide linked in the comment section below. We may need to kill a few monsters first to get some gold to buy the appropriate scrolls required after you gain to 60 magery. As for the skills themselves, 49 necromancy. Similar to chivalry, this will give us a free necromancy book that we would otherwise have to buy for 5,000 gold from a necromancer NPC. It also gives us free cast spellstones that we mentioned. 49 magery. This will give us various spells to put in our spell book, as well as a spellstone, just like we got from necromancy. 1 meditation. Again, we just took this for the spellstone. Codex unlockables. Just to give you something to be on the lookout for, first would be a summoner's tome. This will help our summons to be even more powerful. Wizard Grimoire giving some spells, additional damage, and effects. Crafted once again with 25 arcane scrolls and 1 master crafting diagram from a scribe or bought from another player. Alright, the third template that we're going to go over today is the Backstabber. This is a great way to learn the dungeons, monster mechanics, and be relatively safe from PKs. If lurking in your shadows is your thing, then this is the template for you. If you gotta go AFK quite often, yep, you're gonna love this template again as well. But before we get into too much of it, once again, check the comment section below for a link to a full guide on how to level this template to and beyond this video. This was written by Keep It Tanked, who is a companion and frequents the new player channel in the Outlands Discord. The premise of this template is simple. You hide, you stealth, you attack the monsters from the shadows, you run away, you hide, and you repeat the process until the monster is dead. As far as the template goes, hiding at 100. First step of backstabbing or mugging is hiding in the shadows. So let's get this to 100. We want no chance to fail our hiding. Tactics at 100. We want to be able to do the most amount of damage as possible, and backstabbing is a lot of damage. So 100 tactics is a no-brainer. Next is snooping at 100. When we have both snooping and stealing and we backstab, it's actually called a mug. When you mug, you steal gold from the creature. You have a chance to get black goods, as well as rare items. And that's on top of when you kill it, you still get that same amount of loot you would have gotten before. So again, both snooping and stealing at 100. We just talked about stealing, so let's move on past that. Next would be tracking at 100, or we actually have a choice here. Tracking at 100 gives us more damage. It also gives us a radar versus PKs. Dying early on and losing everything on your corpse is extremely detrimental. So I'd suggest tracking just as Keep It Tank suggests. Another option would be item ID. Item ID boosts the effectiveness of your magic items. Imagine having a Vank weapon and item ID. This will make it hit even significantly harder. Perhaps you could change this out in the future once you get going in the template. The choice is yours, really. Macing at 100, sure, it's called backstab, but you can actually backstab with a mace. The choice is really yours here, and again, in the future, I would switch this to fencing. But this being a new template, macing will suffice, or any weapon skill for that matter. Stealth at 100. The more stealth steps you have remaining, the more damage your backstabs will do. So we want this as high as possible. As far as the starting skills, there really isn't much of an issue here with whatever you pick. So let's just get macing or whatever weapon skill we choose. Let's get tactics and 1 tracking. There you go. As far as what codexes you can unlock, again, refer to Keep It Tank's guide, but the unlockables for this would be your weapon codex and a thief codex. The thief codex would change the template dramatically, so make sure you look at that guide like I keep saying. I haven't been mentioning aspects for any of the templates thus far, mainly just because there's so many options, but this one, there's only one option: Shadow. And for the last template, I will forward you to another video. This template is more of a defensive versus PK's harvester template. I really hate recommending new players to harvest, as it's the worst introduction into such a beautiful game, but it truly is an efficient way to get a leg up in gathering your player progression items early on. Some people find enjoyment in harvesting for hours, and if that's you, then props to you. Keep in mind when watching this harvester video that the only required skill is lumberjacking or mining. So you could basically just hit the mines with nothing but mining, or hit the trees with nothing but lumberjacking. Also, keep in mind, if you do switch from mining in the video to lumberjacking, just switch macing to swords. First off, welcome all the new players to Outlands, and hope you guys are finding enjoyment from this amazing server of Ultima Online. I hope this video was extremely helpful for you, as, taking a step back, it really can be kind of daunting with all the different player progression systems in there. I'll make sure and post another video soon of all the different player progression systems, as well as another video for all the new aspects and everything of that like. Shout out to the Patreons, the channel members, and you for liking this video, as it helps for discoverability for myself, but more importantly, UO Outlands and my fellow streamers. Speaking of streaming, you can come and hang out with me on the live streams most evenings at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Twitter, or Facebook. Other than that, guys, make sure and comment below your favorite emoji, some video suggestions, something like that. Otherwise, guys, have a great one. Pwn Star Gaming